A letter to someone who has been rejected. I know your heart is hurting right now. Rejection has a way of making the world feel quieter than usual. The phone doesn't ring with the news you hoped for. The email doesn't contain the words you wanted to read. The opportunity you worked so hard for slips away, and suddenly you're left standing in a place you never wanted to be. If you're reading this after being rejected, I want you to know something important. Not today. Many people believe success belongs to those who never fail, never stumble, and never hear the word no. But history tells us something very different. Behind almost every inspiring success story is a long list of disappointments, setbacks, closed doors, and painful rejections. The difference is that they refuse to let rejection convince them to quit. Today, I want to remind you of something you may have forgotten, and you remain worthy, capable, talented, and important, regardless of who said no to you. Sometimes, rejection feels personal. That feeling can be incredibly painful. But often, rejection says more about timing, circumstances, needs, and fit than it does about your potential. A company may reject a candidate who later becomes a remarkable leader. A coach may overlook an athlete who later breaks records. Sometimes, it is proof that something wasn't meant for you. How many of those moments led you somewhere unexpected? How many disappointments eventually taught you lessons you couldn't have learned any other way? How many endings created space for new beginnings? Life has a strange way of connecting dots we cannot yet see. What feels like a setback today may become one of the most important turning points of your life. The challenge is that we rarely understand the purpose of a difficult moment while we're living through it. We understand it later, much later. For now, your task is not to understand everything. Your task is simply to keep going. Keep believing. Keep growing. Keep showing up. You do not need to have all the answers. You do not need to know exactly what comes next. You only need enough courage to take the next step. One step, then another, then another. That is how progress happens. That is how healing happens. That is how dreams survive. You may feel embarrassed about being rejected. You may wonder what other people think. You may compare yourself to those who seem to be moving ahead while you're standing still. But comparison is one of the quickest ways to lose sight of your own journey. Everyone is fighting battles you cannot see. Everyone has experienced failures they rarely talk about. Everyone has moments when they question themselves. The people you admire are not strangers to rejection. They simply learned not to let rejection become their identity. And neither should you. You are not the person who got rejected. You are the person who tried. You are the person who had the courage to pursue something meaningful. You are the person who risked failure in pursuit of growth. That takes strength. Many people spend their lives avoiding rejection because they are afraid to try. They never apply. They never create. They never ask. They never risk. As a result, they never fail, but they never truly grow either. You chose courage, and courage deserves respect, even when the outcome isn't what you wanted, especially when the outcome isn't what you wanted. Remember this: Every expert was once a beginner. Every winner was once overlooked. Every successful person has a collection of stories about the times things didn't work out. What you see today is often the final chapter. What you don't see are the hundreds of pages that came before it. The sleepless nights, the mistakes, the disappointments, the tears, the rejections. Those hidden chapters are often what makes success possible. So please do not interpret one rejection as evidence that your dream is impossible. Instead, see it as part of the process. Growth is rarely comfortable. Transformation is rarely easy. Progress rarely follows a straight line. The road to meaningful achievement often includes detours, delays, obstacles, and setbacks. What matters is not whether those obstacles appear. What matters is whether you keep moving forward despite them. Take a moment and give yourself credit. You cared enough to try. You believed enough to take action. You hoped enough to put yourself out there. That matters more than you realize. And even if nobody else recognizes your effort right now, recognize it yourself. Be proud of the courage it took to begin. Be proud of the work you've done. Be proud of the person you're becoming. Because character is not built when everything goes right.
Character is built when things go wrong and you continue anyway. The strongest trees grow through storms. The brightest stars shine in darkness. And some of the strongest people in the world are those who learned how to keep going after disappointment. You may not feel strong today. That's okay. Strength is not the absence of pain. Strength is continuing despite pain. Allow yourself to feel disappointed. Allow yourself to grieve the opportunity you lost. Allow yourself time to process what happened. But don't stay there forever. Do not build a permanent home in a temporary season. This moment is part of your journey. It is not your destination. There are still people you haven't met, opportunities you haven't discovered, dreams you haven't imagined, places you haven't seen, successes you haven't achieved. Your story is still being written. The page you are on right now is not the final page. There is more ahead. More growth. More learning. More joy. More purpose. More possibility. One day, you may look back at this rejection and realize it redirected you towards something far better. One day, you may tell someone else about this moment and encourage them with the lessons you learned. One day, what feels like a wound today may become a source of wisdom. But until that day comes, keep believing in yourself. Keep investing in your growth. Keep learning. Keep improving. Keep trying. Do not let temporary disappointment steal a permanent dream. The world needs people who refuse to give up. People who keep creating. People who keep building. People who keep believing. People like you. So hold your head high. Lift your eyes toward the future. Trust that this setback is not the end. Trust that your worth remains unchanged. Trust that new opportunities will come. Trust that better days are ahead. And most importantly, trust yourself. You have survived difficult days before. You have overcome challenges before. You have found strength before. And you will find it again. This rejection may have closed one door, but your life contains countless doors that have yet to open. Keep walking. Keep growing. Keep believing. Your future is bigger than this moment. Your potential is greater than this disappointment. And your story is far from over. With faith in your future. A friend who believes in you. Closing message. If you've recently faced rejection, remember this: a closed door does not mean a closed future. Your value does not come from acceptance, approval, or recognition from others. Your value comes from who you are. Keep going. Keep growing. Keep believing. The best chapters of your story may still be ahead.